I've learned something about myself today, and that is there is a method for me watching the Conjuring movies. See, the first time I watch it is in theaters, for the scaries. And then the second time, I watch it at home to see if it's still scary. But any time after that is only for Patrick Wilson thirst traps, and particularly only in The Conjuring, and I don't know why. I think it's the sideburns. Okay, also maybe in Phantom of the Opera. And that video of him training for Phantom of the Opera, because who does runs like that? Anyways, let's get into it. So today I watched The Conjuring 2 after failing to secure a copy of Practical Magic. I'm working on it, y'all. I went to 2 stores. I couldn't find it. I'm gonna have to order it online. So, in the meantime, Conjuring 2. So what's it about? Well, yet again, we are on another case from Ed and Lorraine Warren, the 2 demonologists that a lot of people scrutinize as to whether they are legitimate. Now, as to how you feel about it is on you. I'm not here to persuade you one way or another. And just to let you know, anything I say in this review about said what's going on is directly based on the movie and not the case itself. Does that make sense? Basically, I'm strictly speaking on the behalf of the movie. So what's The Conjuring 2 about? Well, straight out of 1970s England, this is the Edenfield poltergeist. A newly single mother of 4 and her children begin experiencing paranormal activity within their home. I say all of them, but mostly it's her youngest girl. Because for some odd reason, every time this happens, it has to be a middle child. But she's basically being woken up in the middle of the night, hearing things talk to her. When she is asleep, it's pulling her through like the floors and shit into different rooms. Then it starts throwing things. It bit her, amongst other freaky shit. Amongst a ton of other freaky shit going on. So the mother sends the other 3 children to live across the street with her friends. And poor Janet here and her mom have to live in the haunted house. Well, while they're living in the haunted house, first they called the police. And come to find out, there is actual police reports saying that in the real haunting, they saw shit moving. But in this particular instance, the ghost moves a chair from the hallway into the kitchen. And then they do a TV interview where, like, the ghost is talking through Janet. And that scared the shit out of everybody. So they called Ed and Lorraine. Who Lorraine was already having a hard time because she had just done the Amityville case. And had seen some really scary things, like one particular demon. So they go over there and they do some interviews, and they find out that the little ghost is named Bill Wilkins, who's like a crabby old man. He's like 72. He died of a brain aneurysm in the chair in the corner of the room. Which, come to find out, so the house was bought by the lady's ex-husband when they were still together, with all the furniture in it, including the chair of the man who died in said house. And right after that's when he ran off and impregnated the neighbor down the street. Yeah, fuck that guy. Except they already are. Anyway. So this whole time everybody's thinking, oh, this is just a really angry ghost who refuses to cross over. But come to find out, the ghost is being held captive by the demon that Lorraine saw in Amityville. And it's trying to kill Janet. And apparently it likes to watch the news. Because poor Janet is like trying to watch TV. I don't know what the fuck she was trying to watch. I think it was like Benny Hill or some shit. But it kept changing the channel over to the news to watch the Queen. Every time she changed it back, it yelled at her. Which is absolutely some shit my dad would do if he were ever a ghost. So while all this is going on, Ed decides he's going to help around the house. And then the mom takes him down to the basement, which has a 1.5 of fucking standing water here in the basement because of a leak. And he goes in there. And the mom gets attacked. And she ends up getting bit too, except now they found the pair of dentures that left the teeth marks. So there's a dead man's dentures in the basement. That's biting people. And while all that's going on, Janet's caught on tape basically faking things because the little ghosty guy told her if she didn't fake shit, they were going to kill her family or something. So everybody goes to leave until Ed's on the train, and then he gets basically a sign that says to rerun the recordings. And it's a message saying that the ghost is in trouble and being held captive by the demon. So they had to go back and they had to vanquish the demon. And they do that. The end. Now, did I like it? I mean, yeah, it's good. It's scary. I like the first one a lot more. But the nun lady is really fucking scary. Which leaves you really disappointed for the nun. But that's a story for another time. Anyway, this is not without comments, questions, and concerns. Question number 1. Why was the 1.5 of water in the basement not a bigger problem? I mean, yes, I understand you have a lot going on upstairs at the moment. However, you have standing water in your basement. That's going to collect a whole lot of mold, bugs, and, you're going to start fucking rotting away some of those pylars underneath. I'd like to think standing water in your basement's going to be as equally as important as the demon upstairs. I could be wrong on that one, though. Number 2, their house was a duplex. What the fuck are their neighbors thinking? We got Major screaming all hours of the night. We have some kind of big-ass scary voice going on. There's furniture being thrown at walls. They gotta be thinking something. Which, like, okay, even if we weren't talking about the people that lived directly in the same building as them that couldn't hear all of this vanquishing and the scary shit going on, there were other people in these houses all around them, and they had a window break, and the little girl standing out in front of the window trying to jump, and then there's stuff, like, flying in and out of the house. Did they not see any of that? Number 3, it's December in England. Now, I've never been to England, but I'd like to consider myself a little bit of, I think the word is Anglophile. I do drink Yorkshire tea, and I do watch the Big Fat Quiz of the Year every single year. That being said, shouldn't it be snowing in England in December? Shouldn't it be cold as shit? But finally, and my most important question, why the hell didn't they get rid of the chair after all that? Like, I understand, okay, she didn't move because at that point, this house is clean. But she didn't get rid of the chair, and then like 40 years later, she dies of a brain aneurysm in the same chair that the man died of a brain aneurysm. I wouldn't have kept the chair in the house. Granted, I don't know if you can just throw it in the dumpster, but like, maybe a blessing and a burning? You could sell it at the flea market? Give this as a present to someone you don't like. All I'm saying is, don't keep it in your house. But it also gets an 8 out of 10 for being scary. So, 8 out of 10. Okay, bye. Wise men say, don't keep that fucking chair in your house.